now on for international yacht racing from Cowes 89, including the Admiral's Cup.
Ocean racing's holy grail, the Admiral's Cup. Every 2 years it attracts the cream of the world's yachtsmen. 6 races covering nearly 1,000 miles. A severe test of highly tuned boats and highly trained crews. Step ashore and you're in a socialite's paradise, the favourite haunt of royalty and gossip columnists. And here in their hordes, the good time gang, yachties who sail by day and party by night.
Cowes Week is the world's oldest and most famous regatta, a festival of sailing and a glittering social occasion. It's tradition, pageantry and glamour. Add to this the biennial Admiral's Cup, the World Team Championship of Ocean Racing, and you have here one of the greatest spectacles in sport.
14 international teams, each with 3 boats, are contesting the Admiral's Cup. Most have professional crews and state-of-the-art racing machines. West Germany's the most successful team of the 80s, but sitting pretty at the top of world yachting is New Zealand. The Kiwis are the cup holders. British sailing needs a lift. Our yachtsmen haven't won for 8 years. Leading the way is Jamarella. She won a tough warm-up regatta, and her owner was rewarded with the team captaincy. Alan Gray, who's also navigator, has had astonishing success for one so new to the sport.
In yacht racing 6 years now, and very happy with how it's going.
Everything's moved so fast for you, hasn't it?
Yes, the real reason I think is that I've had very good people around me, guiding me every step of the way, good coaches, good managers. I often compare it to Formula 1 Grand Prix racing, motor racing, where you have the mechanics and the drivers, etc., all working together, and I think yacht racing has now moved on to that sphere, that level.
At 50 feet, Jamarella's the biggest yacht in the British team, followed by Juno, a medium rater. Her skipper is last year's Olympic gold medalist Mike McIntyre, making his cup debut.
It's quite different. Obviously, there's a lot more involvement with the people aspect of the thing, and you don't have to just worry about yourself. With the Olympic sailing, there's just 1 or 2 of you, and it's a very, very personal thing, and it's much more of a team effort when you've got 12 people in the boat. And there's a number of gold medalists here, at least 3 times as many other Olympic sailors. So I would have thought almost all the talent, the top talent in the world is here at the moment.
The one-tonner Indulgence, skippered by Eddie Warden-Owen, completes the British lineup. This will be the most competitive Admiral's Cup of all time. Many among the crews would have started like this, as ordinary yachtsmen taking part in Cowes Week. This year there are a record number of nearly 900 boats in 26 different classes. The regatta dates back to 1826, and one club has always played a dominant role, the Royal Yacht Squadron. The squadron is the oldest and most exclusive yacht club in the world. Past Commodores include Kings of England, no less. The link with royalty remains strong. Prince Philip is Admiral of the squadron. But Land Rover Cowes Week is for everyone, from all walks of life.
We have good racing. It's different from other places. We have the best facilities anywhere in the world for repairs. People come from all over the world and are amazed their boats are damaged and back racing the next day. Good organisation, good regattas, good parties.
But for the Admiral's Cup fleet of 42 boats, it's down to business. The first race of the series. The 27-mile course is set at the western end of the Solent. Your commentator is Bob Fisher.
Nerves, being what they are, work in two ways at the start of a race. They either drive you to be early or to be a trifle circumspect. In this race, the boats lined up perfectly. No one was early. Very soon some split away, a good move out of the foul current, or so they thought. On board Jamarella, a 50-footer, they go for speed. That's their prerogative. And the pattern is established with the big boats up front as well they should be. Libra is one of the New Zealand team, a mid-sized boat going well to defend the Cup. To win the Admiral's Cup needs a combination of skill by the sailors and high technology by the designers and builders. The boats are the most ultimate in their art and the crew's trained to perfection. There's nothing withheld to make this the best event of its kind. The mid-sized British team boat is Juno, which was boxed in at the start and is now beginning to make her way up the fleet. Indulgence is well placed. Jamarella is making her presence felt. The 50-footer has to be at the front and her crew are a determined bunch. They've been carefully picked to make this boat a winner. Pint attacks and crosses ahead of the Irish hitchhiker. Jamarella with a fight on her hands from great news of the United States. The Danish Andelsbanken has the drop on them all and leads at the second mark. Jamarella is not far behind and has shaken off great news and is now in pursuit of the leader. The Japanese on will be more than happy to be this close to the leaders. Libra is sailing faultlessly. Juno now well into her stride and keeping the British challenge alive. The smaller boats chase hard and up with the best of them is Indulgence. Checking. Just checking, always checking. The race is a complex one, and on handicap, any of the fleet can win. To sail perfectly is their ideal, and they could all take lessons from the Kiwi crew of Libra. Going upwind, the choice of tack is all important. Get it right, and everything is rosy. British-owned Norwegian chartered Elkin Yeoman, another of the 50-footers, tacks to clear her wind. Juno rounds with a great deal to do to keep the British team in contention. Mandrake leads the Italian challenge, perhaps not as strong as it might be, while for Australia, True Blue follows Joint Venture and they're on a roll, but closely pursued by Indulgence. The pattern of the race is changing as Juno slows in a fading wind. Coram is stopped, her spinnaker limp and the breeze dies completely. Very suddenly, the Solent breeze has totally disappeared, and there's the threat of a lottery. Somehow, Eddie Warden-Owen has managed to keep Indulgence on the move. This could be crucial to the team's success. On Fair Share, they have more than their fair share of trouble. This man has a high-level problem to solve. It's all action on Pinter as the wind returns, and who will get it right this time? It's anybody's guess.
Come on, come on.
Jamarella is in full stride for the finishing line. Her performance in all the tricky conditions is exemplary. Good enough for her to win. And what a performance by the 16 crew on this 50-footer. First on corrected time as well. The Australians were to win the team prize with their 3 boats placing 4th, 10th and 13th. Consistency pays in this event. On corrected time, the Kiwis' main hope, Libra, scores a 2nd place. But the defenders will need more than that to take the cup back home with them. Juno, after some excellent sailing in mid-race, was dumped badly by the calm and placed 26th. Indulgence, spurred by her ability to sidestep the worst of the windless zone, was 3rd.
So a solid start for the United Kingdom in 2nd spot, just 2 points behind Australia. New Zealand's lying 3rd, France 4th and Norway 5th. Guest of honour at an official reception for the Admiral's Cup teams is the Princess Royal, staying at the squadron for 2 hours to talk to skippers and crews. Not only is Princess Anne an accomplished horse rider, She's also an enthusiastic sailor and a regular visitor to Cowes. So is her father, of course, the Duke of Edinburgh, here at the helm of Yeoman 28. Prince Philip makes an embarrassing start to his week, colliding with another yacht in a Sigma 38 race. Amadeus has to retire and Yeoman's later disqualified. But that's yacht racing. Cowes must be one of those few places where you can bump into the royal family quite impromptu. Or where Captain Mark Phillips drives on water. Greenwellies are much more his style. Out on the racecourse, his wife is having a ding-dong battle with her father. The Princess Royal is crewing aboard Scorpio, Prince Philip's at the helm of Yeoman. The two yachts are never more than a minute apart. When the fleet bunches up, the Duke of Edinburgh threads his way neatly past Scorpio. She's the Wight-hulled yacht with K8311 on her spinnaker. But Scorpio hugs the shoreline and regains the lead. Princess Anne wins the personal battle. The gallant loser, Prince Philip, has contributed much to the Cowes Regatta. He initiated its reorganisation 25 years ago, suggesting that all the Cowes yacht clubs pull together and start every race in front of the squadron.
Prince Philip said it's ridiculous having a 9-day regatta with 9 different sailing instructions and different starting lines. It's time you got together and ran it all from one place with one set of rules. And if anybody else had said it, we'd probably have said, yes, very good idea. But he said it, so we did it.
The presence of Her Majesty's yacht Britannia adds to the charisma of the event. And that's the QE2 gliding by in the background. Completing the Cowes royal flush is Prince Edward, the honoured guest at one of the biggest parties of the week, the Admiral's Cup Ball. And so to the second race of this prestigious series, the 200-mile Channel Race. The course is westwards to Poole, then to a mid-channel marker before heading northeast to the Hours off Selsey Bill. Then it's back to 2 channel markers before a finish in the Eastern Solent. Following her victory in the first inshore contest, Britain's star performer is again Jamarella, finishing 3rd. Good boat speed combined with immaculate crew work and a shrewd afterguard make this yacht something special. British team captain Alan Gray takes us through the action.
We beat through the Solent. Jamarella was doing quite well, as were Indulgence and Juno. In fact, we led through the Needles and all the way to Poole Fairway Buoy. And that's really where separation of the fleet took place in Poole, because the wind died. Jamarella, Andelsbanken and Will caught zephyrs of wind and took off, the rest of the fleet being becalmed. In fact, we were so far ahead, the crew thought that we'd had the wrong course because we couldn't see any other boats at all.
It's probably the longest offshore race I've done, and it was a lot easier than I thought it would be, obviously because of the conditions. The airs were good, the seas were good. The course itself, I thought was a good course. It made my life easier, not so much beating upwind. Got the downwind work, which meant I got a lot of sleep, so I'm only there for my upwind work. But I enjoyed it, and I'd like to do another one. I'm looking forward to the Fastnet. I just hope it's as the weather condition is kind to us in the Fastnet as it was on this one.
Races are lost usually in the middle of the night when people are feeling low. So it is total concentration. It's extremely difficult because we obviously after a period of time get tired. Food is very basic. All the amenities, as you know, are very, very basic. To keep up your concentration, to be as forceful at the end of a long race as you were at the beginning. And obviously that's very tough. We're in very good spirits. It's all very good, and it's a bit like going through a dream, and one hopes that one doesn't wake up before the end.
Umbrella completes the 200 miles in just over 27¼ hours. Indulgence is 8th and Juno 24th. The winner is Will from Japan, heralding that nation's emergence as a yachting force to be reckoned with.
It is really a turning point for Japanese yachting history to win Admiral's Cup, especially in channel racing.
But Britain's team performance puts them on top of the table, 23.5 points ahead of France. The Danes are third, New Zealand fourth, and Australia have slumped to fifth. During Cows Week, you can always be sure of close racing in the one-designed Dragon class. And the most successful sailor of the last decade is a quite remarkable man. Andy Castle, Great Britain International, has no legs.
I was born like it, but from an early age I was always, for some reason or other, keen to get on the water. I think at 10 and a half, back my uncle bought me my first dinghy, and I've been sailing ever since.
It's never been a disadvantage to you?
Not really, no. I think really in life you can overcome most things if you really want to.
Andy came third in the 1976 World Championships and has qualified for this year's event too. The sailmaker also encourages other disabled people to go sailing. He organises races and involves himself in the Lord Nelson project for the handicapped.
I'm just a person that's been lumbered with a problem, and I'll make the best of it. I wouldn't say I was a champion of the cause, no, not really.
But you must be an inspiration to many others, though.
I would hope so.
When Cows is awash with yachties, London auctioneers Bonham set up shop in the High Street and exhibit their collection of marine pictures. The family firm dates back to 1793, but it was a sixth-generation Bonham who turned his passion for sailing into big business.
Very, very popular indeed. I mean, every yachtsman I know has shipping pictures coming through their ears. It's wonderful. It's quite nice for me also, because it's a bit of a busman's holiday. I can come down here and I can work in the afternoons and sail in the mornings. If you think that the wealth that has to be involved in sailing anyway, because boats are very, very expensive, and one winch alone, if you like, costs £1,000 on a big boat, well, what's a picture for £1,000? It's not much. It's the price of a winch.
Paintings depicting past Cows Week regattas are much in demand, and this early picture of the castle, now HQ to the Royal Yacht Squadron, should fetch a tidy sum.
Well, there's one special picture of 6 J-class yachts jockeying for position, which shows a lot of movement and a great excitement. And that, I hope, is going to fetch, what, 15, maybe £20,000.
Now, this is surely the most unusual work of art in the collection. The paintings are called, well, have a guess. The clue is the Wight Cliffs. They're called Dover Soles, of course.
The pair of shoes will probably fetch about £1,500, maybe up to £2,000. It's a rather expensive pair of shoes, isn't it?
But who'd pay nearly £1 million for this? A tugboat. Peter de Savary, that's who. The yachtsman and entrepreneur is in Cows showing off his latest acquisition. A tugboat converted into a support ship for his next America's Cup campaign.
Wonderful vessel. Why don't you come on board and have a look round?
The restoration of the 450-ton tug took a year to complete. It's full of the most up-to-date equipment and gadgets, some useful, some essential.
This tug's had a marvellous history. It's seen wartime service. It's been a working tug since 1930. It's towed Britannia more than once, and it was destined for the scrapyard. And we decided to refurbish it and use it as a viewing platform, a sponsor's vessel for the next America's Cup. It will serve us very, very well.
The interior is sumptuous, all mahogany and white panelling. Nothing but the best for PDS. Luxury tugboats, somehow only de Savary could think of that. Meanwhile, in the third race of the Cup Series in Christchurch Bay, Britain's Olympic gold medalist is having a ripping time. Mike McIntyre on Juno hasn't had the best of regattas so far, but was going well before the mishap. Juno eventually finishes 11th.
We came up to the last windward mark and we went for jibe set. We had trouble getting around the mark. We had to shoot up head to wind and just made it round, which made turning the boat very difficult. And then when we jibed in the middle of hoisting the spinnaker, the boom went in between the runner and the checkstay, and the boat broached and we shredded the spinnaker, and we lost about 2 minutes in the end. which led us through 3 boats on the water and probably 4 or 5 perhaps on handicap.
But Britain stay top thanks mainly to Jamarella's second place. Denmark, though, are closing the gap.
It's a sad fact that too many small businesses fold in their first year. So if you're starting a new business, pop into NatWest and talk to our small business advisor. You'll find one in every high street branch. Today, NatWest helps start up more small businesses than any other bank. Get off to a good start with NatWest, the Action Bank.
I shouldn't have said it. So people think my granddaughter's a boy. Why should I worry, so long as she's healthy?
Don't tell me. I overreacted. Maybe I should put you in pink.
She get a complex.
Complex? She's 2 years old.
Harry, you dress a girl in blue, she doesn't know where she is. You dress a boy in pink. Oy.
She worries. She's your grandmother.
Why should I worry? I'm only the grandmother. I'll give her a call.
It's easy to make up. Make a call.
Elaine, it's your mother.
Hello, Mom.
I'm sorry. You're sorry. I'm sorry. Elaine, it's your baby. Had you thought about yellow?
British Telecom. It's you we answer to.
I want to be like Mummy. I want to be a princess.
I want to be blonde. I want to be out late. I want to be brown. I want to be green. I want to be next. I want to be discovered. I want to be in the Christmas.
I want to be a 12.
I want to be wrong. I want to be Colonel Mustard.
I want to be indoors.
I want to be secure.
Whatever you want to be in life, you want to be with Prudential.
The 42 Admiral's Cuppers return to Christchurch Bay for the 4th race of the series.
With only 29 miles to go, no one's going to give away an inch. If you're in the second rank at the start, it's likely you'll stay there throughout the race. An almost perfect lineup this time. Juno starts well in clear wind at the favoured end of the line. Indulgence in clear air and looking for the gap in which to tack. Her crew moves smartly across the boat, maintaining a balance of the boat against the wind. The boat must lose some speed each time it tacks, but the better the crew do it, the sooner it's back up to speed. Will from Japan, one of the 50-footers, contesting the lead with Andelsbanken. Her crew is nicely settled into the tack. The top scorer in the series after 3 races is the British big boat Jamarella. So far, never out of the frame, and going well again. Andelsbanken at the windward mark, hoisting her spinnaker as soon as she rounds and setting off on the reach. Behind her is Elcom Yeoman, who went impressively the right way on the first leg. The Jamarella crew go for a rapid spinnaker hoist. They're probably better drilled than any out here. Mandrake for Italy, her best performance in the series so far. She rounds ahead of Coram, certainly the smartest boat in this regatta. Full of French chic, the crew uniform, the graphics, all complementing an excellent design and a top crew. Will leads the fleet, reaching at over 10 knots now that the breeze has filled in again. The Japanese crew is heavily augmented with New Zealanders and an Australian, and the boat handling is good. Watch how cleanly they jibe. The green men of Andelsbanken chase hard and jibe without mistake. Here's a case of one getting it wrong and another getting it right. Just watch Elcombe's spinnaker. See how it collapses because the helmsman is not coordinating with the crew, and see how perfectly Jamarella's is set throughout the jibe. Mandrake, still the leader of the mid-sized boats. Another good jibe. The smart crew of Coram, driving the French boat hard. They can smell success. They know how well they're doing because they're close to the 50-foot stockbroker's container. The surprise of the Admiral's Cup has been in the outstanding performance of the 50-footers, Jamarella particularly so. Her well-drilled crew are also impressive. Andelsbanken with a slight advantage over Jamarella here. Here's a chance for the crew to shine. They've overtaken Elcombe. Now they need a good spinnaker drop to close with the leaders. Will rounds, followed by Andelsbanken. And almost right on their sterns is Jamarella. This promises to be a great three-way battle. Coram's crew set up this rounding well in advance after a seriously good downwind leg. They took down their spinnaker before jibing, and that's given them time to set up for the windward leg and stay ahead of Mandrake. That's the leading edge of racing. It's in the close quarter battles where seconds are won and lost. The Germans are having a better day, but that's not difficult for them. Highly rated, they were expected to be among the leaders, but they're at the other end of the fleet. Juno is rounding, and while her spinnaker drop looks good, she's approached the buoy too closely and allows Fair Share to slip in inside her. Now Fair Share can stop her tacking. The bulk of the 40-footers coming into the bottom mark. Sagacious for the USA, then Indulgence, and Eddie Warden-Owen has problems with full pelt, trying to squeeze inside. He luffs and sends the Swede away on the other tack.